We finally have official information from the Rise of Kingdoms YouTube channel, and the new update scheduled for tomorrow will bring some surprises alongside the planned features. Today's video will focus on the new generation of archer commanders, Gilgamesh and Amanitore. Let's look at their skills real quick to see if there is something that needs to be addressed, and then we will go straight to the potential pairings and to my personal thoughts over the new commanders. First, a quick shout out to this group of players that are planning one of the biggest jumps in Rise of Kingdoms on the 21st of September. They have a goal of 350 to 500 players, and if you're interested in playing with them, you can contact the admins via the Discord link that you see on the screen or in the video description down below. If you are a new player or you're working on a restart project, that is your occasion, don't miss it. If you enjoy Rise of Kingdoms content, I publish a lot of guides and analysis, both for new and for advanced players. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, it's 100% free and you can always change your mind anytime. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome back to Wick Gaming. Yesterday, the official Rise of Kingdoms Facebook page has posted the preview of the two new archer commanders, Gilgamesh and Amanitore, which will be the 5th generation of archer commanders in Rise of Kingdoms. Today, after the release of an official video, we have all the information we need regarding their skills. Let's start from Amanitore, which will be available through the Mightiest Governor event. She's an archer, garrison and support commander. I love so much the choice of the support tree of an archer commander. These can open the doors to important synergies. The first skill, Glorious Arrows, Classic 1000 rage requirement, deals direct damage to the target with a damage factor up to 1300, and you also deal up to 20% increased damage for the next 3 seconds. Second skill, Line Breaker, gives your archers 40% increased attack and 5% extra damage to infantry, while taking extra 5% extra damage from cavalry. We have seen this new way of dealing with new specific troop types in all of the latest commanders. My idea is that Lilith wants to avoid to create a troop type that is unbeatable and emphasize the rule according to which infantry deals more damage to cavalry, cavalry to archers, and archers to infantry. Of course, there will always be archer commanders that will beat cavalry or cavalry that can beat infantry, but this can definitely help to create an environment in which the real results are closer to the expected ones. Third skill, your archers get up to 20% extra defense and your attacks will remove all the attack enhancements of your target when you're serving as a garrison commander. This chance has 10% probability of activation and can activate once every 10 seconds. Fourth, when you take skill damage, you deal direct damage up to 800 damage factor up to 3 enemies in a forward-facing fan-shaped area. If you're serving in a garrison, you also have a 50% chance to deal another round of damage up to 500 damage factor, plus a 20% chance to deal a third round of damage, with a damage factor up to 400. This skill can trigger at most once every 10 seconds. Personally, I think this skill is very good, because you will deal a lot of AoE damage to the targets around you. Now, there are 2 doubts that will be solved only when we will test the commander and take a look at the reports. Namely, 1. Does the entire effect of this skill trigger once every 10 seconds, or it refers only to the second and the third wave? 2. Are the second and the third wave also AoE or single target damage? My suppositions are that the entire effect of the skill can activate once every 10 seconds, and anyway the first wave of damage also activates when not in garrison, while the second and the third wave only when garrisoning. As concerned the second and the third wave being an AoE or a single target, I do think they are AoE as well, and we will see about that. The 10 seconds cooldown is spot on. Otherwise, can you imagine this commander being swarmed in a garrison situation? You will basically deal AoE damage every single turn, and all the enemies around you will inevitably die in very few seconds. Expertise skill, troops led by this commander are immune to silence. Active skill reduces the target's rage by 100 per second for 2 seconds. This skill can trigger at most once every 10 seconds. This skill as well is phrased in a very weird way. I think the immunity to silence is permanent, like for Attila, so I will rephrase this description in this way. Troops led by this commander are immune to silence, and once every 10 seconds at most, active skills reduce the target's rage by 100 per second for 2 seconds. In this way, it will be very clear that it's only the second part of the skill that can be activated every 10 seconds. Again, this is how I suppose it to be, but I really think that the silence immunity is permanent. Let's speak about the possible pairings for this commander. The first one that comes to my mind, the specific reason that I will personally max this commander out, probably, is Artemisia. You are aware of the fact that I am saving sculptures to create a pairing for Artemisia, and I'm now temporarily using her with Mehmet. I was thinking about Nebu or Tomiris, but I was also waiting for the new archers to be released. And I think that Amanitore primary with Artemisia secondary will be one of the most powerful damage dealers and sturdy archer pairings in the entire game. The reason in particular is connected to Amanitore's expertise skill. She's immune to silence. Artemisia, as you can see here, has a 50% chance to silence herself for 3 seconds when your rage accumulates over 80%, but also increases all damage dealt by 50%. Now, can you imagine if you keep your increased damage dealt but you are immune to silence thanks to Amanitore's expertise skill? It means that with the support tree and rejuvenate being maybe helped by a Horn of Fury in the accessory slot, both the commander's new cycle of active skills might be boosted by 50% in damage. And this is huge, because when you accumulate 80% of rage, it means that you will have at least 800 rage. But considering all the talent effects, that turn is more likely that you will have around 850 rage. In the worst case scenario, you will fire off your primary commander skill on the third following turn. Then there is one turn of rest between the primary and the secondary commander's active skill, and on the 5th turn you will fire off Artemisia's active skill, which will still be boosted by her own effect. If my suppositions are correct, and of course if she keeps the damage increase effect even without silencing herself. I cannot jump to conclusions because sometimes what's written here has a different outcome on the real battlefield, but I have a strong feeling that Amanitore plus Artemisia will be a hell of an open field meta, and why not even Garrison. Besides, Amanitore has extra attack and defense, which is not common. Artemisia has extra defense and health. This might be my dream archer pair for the open field, together with Ramses and YSG, really. But let's not fly too much with our thoughts. As I said, actual results might be very different. I will make sure to drop a video as soon as I will have my hands on a maxed Amanitore. Another good pairing for Amanitore could be, of course, Nebu, with his march speed and his AoE. Yes, because if there is something that is lacking in Amanitore is the march speed. I suppose even YSG will be a good pair. We know that YSG is universally compatible with most of the commanders in the game, and we will also need to see how Amanitore will perform with the other new archer commander, Gilgamesh. At this point, it's pointless to speculate further. Let's wait for her to be available and playable, and I will make a review video like I did for CJ and Pakal. Let's now speak about Gilgamesh. He's an archer, conquering, and skill commander. Everyone expected a conquering commander, especially with Zenobia being around for such a long time. I honestly would have preferred the attack tree over the skill tree, but I guess the skill tree is not bad either. Active skill deals direct damage to the current target up to 1500 factor and reduces health by 30% for 3 seconds. This already makes me think about the utility of this skill. Zenobia buffs health. Gilgamesh debuffs health. You know where I'm going with that. Second skill, Bowman of Uruk. Archer gain 30% increased health and deal up to 20% increased damage to enemy troops that have less than 50% of the units remaining. And if you haven't seen my video on the real meaning of having less than 50% of the troops remaining in a garrison situation, I invite you to check it out. In a battle, this can even happen if the structure is completely full. About the open field, of course, that's a different story. Third skill, you gain 20% attack when attacking strongholds and cities and 5% attack bonus every 6 seconds, stackable up to 6 times for a total of 30% extra attack after just 36 seconds of continuous battle, which is easily reachable in a conquering scenario. Fourth, troops led by this commander take 10% less damage from normal attacks, so both attacks and counterattacks. The expertise skill Demigod will enhance your fourth skill. You will take 15% less damage from normal attacks instead of 10, affecting both the attacks and counterattacks. Your attacks have a 30% chance to inflict a blood-craving debuff, but this time the damage factor goes up to a whopping 700 per turn, and also the target gets 15% extra skill damage. It's not over. The debuff lasts now for 4 seconds instead of 3. The cooldown is the same. The skill can activate once every 5 seconds, but this brings the total damage factor to 2800 over 4 turns. This is probably the single most powerful enhancement that I have ever seen on an expertise skill that powers up an existing one. Having a 30% chance of activation with a 5 seconds cooldown makes me think that this effect with a little bit of luck can potentially activate every skill cycle. Of course, that should also line up with the enemy healing to be effective, but probably around 50% of the times that will work. Again, this is just a first look at the commander. Once I will have my hands on him, I will test as much as I can and post a video for you, so don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This commander looks great, not for me because I'm not a rally leader, but I suspect every archer main and rally leader will max this commander out. Both of the commanders, either if you are free to play fighting in open field or a heavy spender rally leader, need to be maxed out. The benefits that you get from their expertise skill are huge, from silence immunity to extreme damage enhancements, so I will not suggest a minimum investment that is inferior to maxing out the commanders, for now. Rally pairings for Gilgamesh. Probably the first one that comes to my mind is Nebuchadnezzar. I would immediately exclude Ramses II because his active skill inflicts a healing immunity to the enemy. So if the enemy cannot heal, how is Gilgamesh going to activate his most powerful damaging effect? We will see how that works, but I predict Ramses being one of the worst pairings for Gilgamesh. Again, this if the things written here match with the reality of a battle scenario. I highly doubt that YSG will be excellent with Gilgamesh. Good, but not excellent. Maybe Cyrus can do a good job with him. I will consider testing Gilgamesh and Cyrus and Gilgamesh and Nebu. Those are my preliminary considerations about the 5th generation archer commanders. I'm very pumped about both of them. I honestly am fairly sure that I will max Amanitore out if she works how I expect her to work, and I will finally have my best pairing for Artemisia. And you? What do you think? Which commander do you like the most? Are you looking forward to test Amanitore in open field or Gilgamesh in a rally situation? Let me know in the comment section down below. Few words about the new refinement system. As we can see from the footage, to add a special talent onto a piece of equipment, you will need to reach 100 refinement points. The gold requirement is the same. There are some chances to get a crit and score more points, as we can see from this picture taken from the official Rise of Kingdoms Vietnamese channel. For the legendary pieces, you will need a blueprint and half of the original materials. I will release a video after the update to speak about the actual implication of this new system. For now, I will see you on the next one. Ciao!